Released via the National Football Foundation, Irving, Texas, June 3, 2019. The National Football Foundation (NFF). Players and 33 coaches from the divisional ranks. It's an enormous honor to just be on the College Football Hall of Fame ballot when you think that more than 5.33 million people have played college football and only 1,010 players have been inducted, said NFF president. The Hall's requirement of being a first-team All-American creates a much smaller pool of about 1,500 individuals who are even eligible. Being in today's elite group means an individual is truly among the greatest to have ever played the game, and we look forward to announcing the 2020 College Football Hall of Fame class in January. The ballot was emailed today to the more than 12,000 NFF members and current Hall of Famers whose votes will be tabulated and submitted to the NFF's Honors Court, which will deliberate and select the class. The FBS Honors Court, chaired by NFF board member and College Football Hall of Famer Archie Griffin from Ohio State, and the Divisional Honors Court, chaired by former Marshall head coach, longtime athletics director and NFF board member Jack Lengyel, include an elite and geographically diverse pool of athletic administrators, Hall of Famers and members of the media. Having a ballot and a voice in the selection of the College Football Hall of Fame inductees is one of the most cherished NFF member benefits, said NFF chairman Archie Manning, a 1989 Hall of Fame inductee from Mississippi. There is no group more knowledgeable or passionate about college football than our membership, and the tradition of the ballot helps us engage them in the lofty responsibility of selecting those who have reached the pinnacle of achievement in our sport. The announcement of the 2020 class will be made in January 2020 in the days leading up to the College Football Playoff (CFP) National Championship in New Orleans. The January announcement will be televised and/or streamed live, and specific viewing information will be available as the date draws near. Several of the electees will also participate in the pre-game festivities and the coin toss before the championship game. We cannot thank CFP Executive Director Bill Hancock and his staff enough for the opportunity to continue the tradition of announcing a Hall of Fame class in conjunction with the national championship, said Hatchell. Our presence at the title game has significantly raised the profile of the announcement, allowing us to shine a much brighter light on the accomplishments of our game's greatest legends. The 2020 College Football Hall of Fame class will officially be inducted during the 63rd NFF Annual Awards Dinner on Deck 8, 2020, at the New York Hilton Midtown. They will also be honored at their respective schools with an NFF Hall of Fame on-campus salute, presented by Fidelity Investments, during the 2020 season. The criteria for Hall of Fame consideration include: first and foremost, a player must have received first-team All-America recognition by a selector organization that is recognized by the NCAA and utilized to comprise the consensus All-America teams. A player becomes eligible for consideration by the Foundation's Honors Courts 10 full seasons after his final year of intercollegiate football played. While each nominee's football achievements in college are of prime consideration, his post-football record as a citizen is also weighed. He must have proven himself worthy as a citizen, carrying the ideals of football forward into his relations with his community and his fellow man, with love of his country. Consideration may also be given for academic honors and whether the candidate earned a college degree. Players must have played their last year of intercollegiate football within the last 50 years. For example, to be eligible for the 2020 ballot, the player must have played his last year in 1970 or thereafter. In addition, players who playing professionally and coaches who are coaching on the professional level are not eligible until after they retire. A coach becomes eligible 3 full seasons after retirement, or immediately following retirement, provided he is at least 70 years of age. Active coaches become eligible at 75 years of age. He must have been a head football coach for a minimum of 10 years and coached at least 100 games with a .600 winning percentage. Nominations may only be submitted by the athletics director of a potential candidate's collegiate institution, by the head coach or sports information director (SID) representing a dues-paying college, university, or by a dues-paying chapter of the National Football Foundation. Players who do not comply with the 50-year rule may still be eligible for consideration by the Football Bowl subdivision and divisional veterans committees. Veterans Committee candidates must still meet first-team All-America requirement. Once nominated for consideration, all FBS player candidates are submitted to one of 8 district screening committees, depending on the school's geographic location, which conducts a vote to determine who will appear on the ballot and represent their respective districts. Each year, approximately 15 candidates, who were not selected for the Hall of Fame but received significant votes in the final selection, will be named automatic holdovers and will bypass the district screening process and automatically appear on the ballot the following year. Additionally, the Veterans Committee may make recommendations to the Honors Court for exceptions that allow for the induction of players who played more than 50 years ago. The Honors Court annually reviews the Hall of Fame criteria to ensure a fair and streamlined process. Of the 5.33 million individuals who have played college football since Princeton first battled Rutgers on November 6, 1869, only 1,010 players have earned induction into the College Football Hall of Fame, or less than 0.02%, 0.02% of those who have played the game during the past 150 years. For the coaching ranks, 219 individuals have achieved Hall of Fame distinction. The 2020 voting deadline is June 21. If you would like to become a member and receive this year's ballot, please contact NFF Director of Membership Ron Dilaters at rodilaters@footballfoundation.com. A list of candidates and capsule bios are provided below. Consensus All-American, listed as a first-team All-American by at least half of the recognized publications. Unanimous All-American, listed as a first-team All-American by all recognized publications. 2020 FBS player candidate capsule bios. Flows L. Adams, Michigan State offensive tackle 1997, first-team All-American and Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year, 3-time All-Big Ten performer who helped Spartans to 3 consecutive bowl appearances, helped running backs rush for more than 100 yards in 21 games throughout career and allowed only 2 QB sacks in 1997 season. Morton Anderson, Michigan State PLACEKICKER 1981, first-team All-American who left MSU as the Big Ten's all-time leader in field goals, 45, set still-standing conference record with 63-yard field goal in 1981 and was a 3-time All-Big Ten performer, led the Spartans in scoring for 3 seasons. Aaron Beasley, West Virginia defensive back 1995 consensus first-team All-American, led the nation in INTs 10 in 1994, 2-time first-team All-Big East selection who led WVU to an undefeated regular season and a 1993 Big East title, .19 career INTs and holds 2 of the top 5 single-season PBU performances in Mountaineer history. Eric Bieniemy, Colorado running back 1990, unanimous first-team All-American and finished 3rd in 1990 Heisman voting, played in 2 national championships, leading Buffs to 1990 national title, 2-time All-Big 8 pick, still holding 8 CU records. Jerome Brown, Miami, FLA, defensive tackle 1986, unanimous first-team All-American and finalist for both the Outland and Lombardi trophies as senior, helped Canes to 4 consecutive New Year's Day Bowl games, ranks 10th in school history with 21 career sacks. Lomas Brown, Florida offensive tackle 1984 consensus first-team All-American and two-time All-SEC performer, led Gators to 3 consecutive bowl berths and top 10 national final rankings in 1983 and 1984, recipient of Jacobs Blocking Trophy as the SEC's top blocker in 1984, Larry Burton, Purdue split-end first-team All-American and Outstanding College Athlete of America in 1974 and a first-team All-Big Ten selection, led the team in receiving in both 1973 and 1974, named team captain and team MVP in 1974, Keith Byers, Ohio State running back, unanimous first-team All-American and Heisman Trophy runner-up who led nation in rushing 1,764 all-purpose yards, 2,441, and scoring 144 in 1984, .1984 Big Ten MVP and two-time All-Big Ten selection, ranks 5th all-time at OSU with 4,369 career all-purpose yards and 3,200 career rushing yards. Greg Carr, Auburn linebacker 1984 consensus first-team All-American and NFF National Scholar Athlete, 3-time first-team All-SEC selection and 1984 SEC Lineman of the Year, twice led Auburn in tackles, helping the Tigers to the 1983 SEC title and 3 consecutive bowl wins. Mark Carrier, USC defensive back, two-time first-team All-American 1988-89, unanimous in 1989. Jim Thorpe Award winner 1989, two-time first-team All-Conference selection, led the Pac-10 in interceptions in 1989 with 7. Kevin Carter, Florida defensive end 1994 consensus first-team All-American who led the Gators to 4 straight bowl games, 3-time All-SEC performer who helped Florida to SEC titles in 1991, 1993 and 1994, ranks in the top 10 all-time at Florida with 21.8 sacks and 42.5 TFL in career. Matt Cavanaugh, Pittsburgh quarterback 1977 first-team All-American who led the Panthers to a 1976 national title, led Pitt to 3 consecutive bowl wins, earning MVP honors in the 1977 Sugar and 1977 Gator Bowls, finished Pitt career ranked 2nd all-time, behind only Tony Dorsett, with 3,916 career yards of total offense. Dallas Clark, Iowa tight end 2002 unanimous first-team All-American and winner of the Mackey Award as the nation's best tight end, two-time All-Big Ten selection who helped Iowa to assure the 2002 Big Ten title and its first-ever 11-win season. 2002 holds record for longest pass reception in school history, 95 yards. Marco Coleman, Georgia Tech linebacker 1991 first-team All-America pick, two-time first-team All-ACC, leading Jackets to the national championship and an 1-1-0-1 record in 1990. .28 career sacks, rank 14th all-time in ACC history. Tim Couch, Kentucky quarterback 1998 consensus first-team All-American who finished 4th in Heisman voting in 1998, the 9th in 1997. .1998 SEC Player of the Year who led Cats to first win over Alabama in 75 years, set 7 NCAA, 14 SEC and 26 school records. Eric Crouch, Nebraska quarterback 2001 Heisman, Walter Camp and Davey O'Brien Award winner who led Huskers to 2001 national title game at the Rose Bowl, finished career as NCAA record holder for career rushing TDs by a quarterback 59, led team to 42-9 record and 4 bowl berths. Brad Culpepper, Florida defensive tackle 1991 consensus first-team All-American and recipient of the NFF Campbell Trophy as the nation's top scholar athlete, two-time All-SEC selection who led Gators to first-ever SEC title in 1991, ranks 6th all-time at Florida with 47.5 career TFL, a school record among defensive linemen. Eric Dickerson, SMU running back, named unanimous first-team All-American and finished third in the Heisman Trophy voting in 1982. Twice named SWC Player of the Year, he holds 14 SMU records, including career rushing yards, 4,450. Glenn Dorsey, LSU defensive tackle, two-time first-team All-American. Earning unanimous honors in 2007, led the Tigers to a national title at the 2008 Sugar Bowl after taking home the Lombardi, Nagasaki and Outland trophies. 2007 SEC Defensive Player of the Year, who helped LSU finish no lower than number 5 nationally his last 3 seasons. Tim Dwight, Iowa kick returner, wide receiver, two-time first-team All-American, earning consensus honors in 1997. First-team All-Big Ten, who placed 7th in 1997 Heisman Trophy voting, finished career as Big Ten's leader in punt return yardage, 1,102. Jumbo Elliott, Michigan offensive tackle, two-time first-team All-American, consensus 87, two-time All-Big Ten first-team selection and member of 1986 Big Ten co-champions, paved the way for Jamie Morris, who had 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Kevin Falk, LSU running back, 1996 first-team All-American, who finished career ranked 4th in NCAA history in all-purpose yards, 6,833, three-time first-team All-SEC selection and 1995 SEC Freshman of the Year, set 11 school records during career and became first LSU back to average 100 yards per game during entire career. David Fulcher, Arizona State defensive back, two-time first-team All-American, earning consensus honors in both 1984 and 1985, three-time All-Pac-10 selection, who led ASU to 1985 Holiday Bowl berth, recorded 14 interceptions, returning 1 for a touchdown, and 286 tackles in career. Mo Gardner, Illinois defensive tackle, two-time first-team All-American, unanimous 89, consensus 90.199, a Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year and 1989 Big Ten Lineman of the Year, three-time first-team All-Conference pick and set school record for career TFL 57. Tony Gonzalez, California tight end, 1996 consensus first-team All-American and first-team All-Pac-10 selection, holds Cal record for receptions in a bowl game, 9 in 1996 Aloha Bowl, posted 89 receptions for 1,302 yards and 8 touchdowns during career. Dan Hampton, Arkansas defensive tackle, 1978 first-team All-American and two-time All-SWC selection, named 1978 Houston Post Outstanding Player of the Year in the SWC, recording 18 TFL during his senior campaign, helped Hogs beat No. 19 Georgia in 1976 Cotton Bowl and No. 2 Oklahoma in 1978 Orange Bowl. Jason Hanson, Washington State place kicker, two-time first-team All-American, earning unanimous honors in 1989, holds numerous NCAA, conference and school records, including longest field goal without a tee, 62 yards, and career field goals of 40 yards on more, 39, four-time All-Pac-10 selection and 1991 NFF National Scholar Athlete. Byron Hanspard, Texas Tech running back, 1996 unanimous first-team All-American and recipient of the Doak Walker Award, Tech's all-time leader in rushing, 4,219, who tied NCAA record by reaching 1,000-yard mark by fifth game of 1996 season, three-time All-Big 12 selection, helping Red Raiders to first Cotton Bowl since 1938, Marcus Harris. Wyoming wide receiver, two-time first-team All-American, earning consensus honors as a senior, .1996 Biletnikoff Award winner, who finished 9th in Heisman Trophy voting and twice led the nation in receiving yards per game, .1996 WAC Offensive Co-Player of the Year, who set NCAA record with 4,518 career receiving yards. Marvin Harrison, Syracuse kick returner, wide receiver 1995 first-team All-American as a kick returner and 1995 Big East Special Teams Player of the Year, three-time All-Big East selection, who set a conference record with a 94-yard punt return for a TD in 1995, left Syracuse as the school's all-time receiving leader, 2,718 yards. Jeff Hartings, Penn State offensive lineman, two-time first-team All-American, earning consensus honors in 1995, three-time first-team All-Big Ten selection who helped Lions to the 1994 conference title, leader of an offensive unit that set 14 single-season school records and led the FBS in scoring, 47.8 ppg in 1994. Mike Hass, Oregon State wide receiver 2005 first-team All-American and recipient of the 2005 Biletnikoff Award, two-time first-team All-Pac-10 selection and first receiver in league history with three 1,000-yard receiving seasons, led the nation with 139.9 receiving YPG 2005 and holds virtually every Oregon State receiving record. E.J. Henderson, Maryland linebacker, only two-time consensus first-team All-American in Terps history, .2002 Bednarik and Butkus Award winner who helped Maryland to an Orange Bowl berth and no. 11 final ranking, .2001 ACC Player of the Year and two-time ACC Defensive Player of the Year, leading Terps to the 2001 ACC title. Josh Heupel, Oklahoma quarterback, 2000 consensus first-team All-American and Walter Camp Player of the Year, .2000 Heisman Trophy runner-up who led the Sooners to a national title at the 2001 Orange Bowl, .2000 Big 12 Player of the Year who left OU with virtually every school passing record despite only playing 2 seasons. Craig Hayward, Pittsburgh running back, 1987 consensus first-team All-American who led the nation in rushing his final season and finished 5th in Heisman voting, left Pitt as the second leading rusher in school history, behind only Tony Dorsett with 3,086 career rushing yards, rushed for at least 100 yards in every game of 1987 season. Steve Hutchinson, Michigan offensive lineman, 2000 unanimous first-team All-American who led the Wolverines to 4 bowl wins, including the 1997 national championship at the Rose Bowl, one of only 7 players in conference history to be named a 4-time first-team All-Big Ten selection, 3-time Big Ten champion. Larry Jacobson, Nebraska defensive tackle, 1971 consensus first-team All-American and Outland Trophy recipient, led Huskers to back-to-back national titles and 3 consecutive conference championships. .1971 All-Big 8 performer who led Nebraska to a 1st of February 33 record during career. Ernie Jennings, Air Force wide receiver, 1970 consensus first-team All-American, finishing 8th in 1970 Heisman Trophy voting, led Air Force to 1971 Sugar Bowl berth. Holds every single season and career receiving record at Air Force. E.J. Jr., Alabama defensive end, 1980 unanimous first-team All-American and member of 2 national championship teams, 1978, 1979, 3-time first-team All-SEC selection and 1980 SEC Lineman of the Year, who led Tide to 2 conference titles, member of fabled goal line stand defense versus Penn State in 1979 Sugar Bowl. James Laurinaitis, Ohio State linebacker, 3-time first-team All-American, consensus 2006, 2008, unanimous 2007, 2-time Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year who led the Buckeyes to 2 national championship games and 4 consecutive conference titles. .2007 Butkus and 2006 Nagaski recipient, leading OSU in tackles 3 straight seasons. Greg Lewis, Washington running back, 1990 first-team All-American and Doak Walker Award winner. Named Pac-10 Offensive Player of the Year in 1990, leading Huskies to 1990 conference title, finished 7th in 1990 Heisman voting and recorded 15 100-yard games. Ray Lewis, Miami, FLA, linebacker 1995 First-Team All-American and Butkus Award runner-up, led Canes to Fiesta and Orange Bowl appearances and ranks 6th all-time at Miami with 388 career tackles, two-time First-Team All-Big East performer who twice led the league in tackles. Todd Light, Notre Dame defensive back, two-time First-Team All-American, earning unanimous honors in 1989 and consensus laurels in 1990, led Irish to 1988 national championship and perfect 12-0 season as well as national title game appearance in 1991 Orange Bowl, Thorpe Award finalist who posted 11 career interceptions. Bobby Majors, Tennessee defensive back 1971 unanimous First-Team All-American who led Vols to wins in 1971 Sugar Bowl and 1972 Liberty Bowl, two-time First-Team All-SEC selections, still holds conference and school record with 10 INTs in 1971, set Tennessee records for career punt returns 117 and career punt return yardage 1,163. Ed McCaffrey, Stanford wide receiver 1990 First-Team All-American and two-time Stanford MVP. 1990 First-Team All-Pac-10 receiver who led the Cardinal in receiving yards 3 of 4 years, ranks in the top 10 all-time at Stanford with 146 career receptions and 2,333 career receiving yards. Cade McNown, UCLA quarterback 1998 consensus First-Team All-American and Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award recipient. 1998 Pac-10 Co-Offensive Player of the Year who led UCLA to consecutive Pac-10 titles in 1997, Shed, and 1998, holds numerous school records. Mark Messner, Michigan defensive tackle 1988 unanimous First-Team All-American who was a Lombardi Award finalist. 1988 Big Ten Player of the Year and four-time First-Team All-Big Ten selection, led Wolverines to 4 bowl berths and named MVP of 1985 Fiesta Bowl. Pete Mitchell, Boston College tight end two-time First-Team All-American, earning consensus honors in 1994, two-time First-Team All-Big East performer, leading the conference in catches his last 2 seasons, ranks 2nd all-time at BC in career receptions 190, and 3rd all-time in career receiving yards 2,388. Corey Moore, Virginia Tech defensive lineman, two-time First-Team All-American, 1999 unanimous, and winner of the 1999 Lombardi and Nagasaki Awards, two-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year, led Hockey's to 2000 National Championship game, leader of hockey's famed lunch pail defense that led the nation in rushing defense 85.0 YPG. Dan Morgan, Miami, FLA, linebacker 2000 unanimous First-Team All-American and first player to sweep the Butkus, Bednarik and Nagasaki Awards in one season. .200 Big East Defensive Player of the Year and three-time First-Team All-Big East selection. Canes all-time leader in tackles, 532, who started a school record 45 games. Ken Norton Jr., UCLA linebacker 1987 First-Team All-American, leading Bruins to 4 consecutive bowl wins. Member of the 1985 Conference Championship team. Led team in tackles in 1986, 106, and in 1987, 125, and ranks 6th in school history with 339 career tackles. Leslie O'Neal, Oklahoma State defensive tackle two-time First-Team All-American, earning unanimous honors in 1985, three-time All-Big 8 selection and 1984 Big 8 Defensive Player of the Year, who led Pokes to 3 straight bowl berths, left OSU as school leader in career sacks, 34, career TFL, 47, and single-season sacks, 16. Carson Palmer, USC quarterback 2002 consensus First-Team All-American and Heisman Trophy recipient. .2002 Pac-10 Co-Offensive Player of the Year who set conference, school career records for total offense 11,621 YDS and passing yards 11,818, led USC to assure the 2002 Pac-10 title. and first 11-win season since 1979. Julius Peppers, North Carolina defensive end, 2001 unanimous first-team All-American and winner of the 2001 Bednarik and Lombardi Awards. 2001 Chevrolet Defensive Player of the Year who finished 10th in Heisman Trophy voting, two-time first-team All-ACC selection, leading the conference in TFL 24 and sacks 15 in 2000. Anthony Poindexter, Virginia defensive back, two-time first-team All-American, earning consensus honors in 1998, three-time All-ACC pick and 1998 ACC Defensive Player of the Year, holds 5 school records and finished career with 342 tackles and 12 interceptions. David Pollock, Georgia defensive lineman, three-time first-team All-American, consensus in 2002, 2004, and recipient of the 2004 Lombardi and Bednarik Awards, two-time SEC Defensive Player of the Year who led Bulldogs to consecutive SEC title games, UGA's all-time leader in sacks, 36th, and tackles for loss, 58.5. Antoine Randall L., Indiana quarterback, 2001 first-team All-American, first player in FBS history to pass for 6,000 yards and rush for 3,000 yards in career, rushed for more yards than any QB in FBS history upon conclusion of career. Simeon Rice, Illinois linebacker, two-time first-team All-American and three-time first-team All-Big Ten selection, holds conference and school record for career sacks, 44.5, and Illini record for career tackles for loss, 69, set school record for single-season sacks, 16. Ron Rivera, California linebacker, 1983 consensus first-team All-American, Lombardi Award finalist in 1983 and named East-West Shrine Game Most Valuable Player, selected as Pac-10 Co-Defensive Player of the Year in 1983, led team in tackles from 1981-83, Rashaan Salam, Colorado tailback, 1994 unanimous first-team All-American and Heisman Trophy winner, .199 for Walter Camp Player of the Year and Doak Walker Award recipient. 1994 Big 8 Offensive Player of the Year who led nation in rushing, scoring and all-purpose yards. Chris Samuels, Alabama offensive tackle, 1999 unanimous first-team All-American and Outland Trophy recipient, two-time first-team All-SEC selection who led the Tide to a 1999 conference title, SEC Jacobs Blocking Trophy winner who did not allow a sack the entire 1999 season and blocked for 1,000-yard rusher Shaun Alexander. Larry Sivers, Tennessee wide receiver, two-time consensus first-team All-American in 1975 and 1976, two-time first-team All-SEC selection, currently ranks 6th in Tennessee history in career reception yardage, 1,924, and 7th in career receptions, 117. Kenneth Sims, Texas defensive tackle, two-time first-team All-American, 1980 consensus, 1981 unanimous, and recipient of the 1981 Lombardi Award, finished 8th in 1981 Heisman Trophy voting and led Longhorns to 4 bowl berths, two-time first-team All-SWC performer who ranks 4th in school history with 29 career sacks. Justin Smith, Missouri defensive lineman, 2000 first-team All-American who also earned freshman All-America honors in 1998, two-time first-team All-Big 12 selection who is Mizzou's all-time leader in career 50 and single-season 24 in 2000 TFL, graduated as the Tigers' career leader in sacks, 22.5, now ranking 4th all-time. C.J. Spiller, Clemson running back, kick returner, 2009 unanimous first-team All-America kick returner, also earning second-team All-America honors as a running back the same year. 2009 ACC Player of the Year who set 31 Clemson records by career's end, career all-purpose yards, 7,588, ranks first all-time in ACC annals and 4th all-time in NCAA history. Aaron Taylor, Notre Dame offensive tackle, two-time first-team All-American, earning consensus honors in '92 and unanimous in '93, 1993 Lombardi Award winner and named College Interior Lineman of the Year by Touchdown Club of Columbus, Ohio, led Irish to 4 bowl games. Dennis Thurman, USC defensive back, two-time first-team All-American who led Trojans to 4 consecutive postseason wins, including the 1974 National Championship at the Rose Bowl, two-time All-Conference selection who helped USC to 2 Pac-10 titles. Andre Tippett, Iowa defensive end, 1981 consensus first-team All-American who led Hawkeyes to 1982 Rose Bowl berth, its first bowl game since 1959, two-time first-team All-Big Ten performer, leading Iowa to 1981 Big Ten championship, holds Iowa record for TFL yardage, 153 yards, 20 TFL. Troy Vincent, Wisconsin defensive back, 1991 first-team All-American and runner-up for the 1991 Thorpe Award, two-time All-Big Ten selection, and 1991 Big Ten Co-Defensive Player of the Year, finished career as Wisconsin's leader in punt return yards, 773, and passes defended, 31. Chris Ward, Ohio State offensive tackle, two-time first-team All-American, consensus, 76, unanimous, 77, three-time first-team All-Big Ten selection who helped Buckeyes to at least a share of 4 conference titles, blocked for Archie Griffin during second Heisman Trophy winning campaign. Michael Westbrook, Colorado wide receiver, 1994 consensus first-team All-American who led Buffs to 4 bowl berths and 4 top 20 finishes, two-time All-Big 8 performer, leading CU per share of the 1991 league title, still holds 8 school records and caught a 64-yard game-winning pass in the 1994 Miracle at Michigan. Zach Wiegert, Nebraska offensive tackle, 1994 unanimous first-team All-American and winner of the Outland Trophy, led Huskers to 1994 National Championship and 1993 National Championship game appearance, three-time All-Big 8 selection who led Nebraska to league titles every year of career. Roy Williams, Oklahoma defensive back, 2001 unanimous first-team All-American who took home the 2001 Nagaski and Thorpe Awards, led Sooners to the first 13-win season in program history and a national championship, 2000.2001 Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, ranks in the conference's top 10 all-time in pass deflections, 44. Tal Wilson, Tennessee linebacker, 1998 consensus first-team All-American who led the Vols to the inaugural BCS national title in 1998, helped Tennessee to 4 postseason berths and 4 AP top 10 finishes, two-time All-SEC performer, led Vols to consecutive SEC titles, 1997, 1998, and only lost 3 conference games in career. Steve Wisniewski, Penn State offensive guard, 1988 first-team All-American, member of 1986-120 National Championship team, helped Blair Thomas rush for 1,414 yards and 11 touchdowns in 1987, and DJ Dozier attained first-team All-America honors in 1986. Elmo Wright, Houston wide receiver, 1970 consensus first-team All-American who earned second-team honors in 1969 and honorable mention honors in 1968, set an NCAA single-season record of 8 TD receptions of 50 yards on more, 1968, still holds Houston career records for all-purpose yards per play, 21.0 AVG, and yards per reception, 21.9 AVG, .2020 FBS coach candidate capsule bios. Larry Blakeney, Troy, 1991-2014, all-time winningest coach in Sun Belt Conference history, 4-time Conference Coach of the Year who led the Trojans, 8 conference titles, 5 Sun Belt, 3 Southland, and 7 FCS playoff appearances in 8 seasons, led Troy to 4 bowl games, including wins at the 2006 and 2010 New Orleans Bowl. Jim Carlin, West Virginia, 1966–69, Texas Tech, 1970–74, South Carolina, 1975–81, led teams, 8 bowl games and 13 winning seasons in 16 years as head coach. 1973 National Coach of the Year, 3-time Southwest Conference Coach of the Year, coached Heisman Trophy winner George Rogers at South Carolina. Pete Cawthon Sr., Austin College, Texas, 1923–27, Texas Tech, 1930–40, led Tech to 4 Border Conference titles in 11 seasons at the helm, led 1938 team to 10-0 regular season and the school's first ever Cotton Bowl appearance, boasts highest win percentage, 69.3, among Tech coaches with terms of 3 years or more. Billy Jack Murphy, Memphis, 1958–71, winningest coach in Memphis history, including an unbeaten season in 1963, named National Coach of the Year in 1963 by the Detroit News and Missouri Valley Conference Coach of the Year 3 of 4 seasons from 1968–71, took Memphis to its first ever bowl game and is a member of the Tennessee, Mississippi State, and Memphis Halls of Fame. Darrell Rogers, Cal State East Bay, formerly Cal State Hayward, 1965, Fresno State, 1966–72, San Jose State, 1973–75, Michigan State, 1976–79, Arizona State, 1980–84, took Fresno State to 2 bowl games, achieved an unprecedented national ranking at San Jose State, named Big Ten Coach of the Year in 1977 and National Coach of the Year by Sporting News in 1978, won the Big Ten title in 1978.2020 Divisional Player Candidate capsule by Ashley Ambrose, Mississippi Valley State defensive back, 1991 First Team All-American and First Team All-SWAC selection, named SWAC Defensive Back and Return Specialist of the Year in 1991, led nation in punt returns during senior campaign. Archie Emerson, Northern Arizona running back, named First-Team All-American in 1996, finished as school's all-time career rushing leader despite only playing 2 seasons, 3,196 yards. .1996 Walter Payton Award recipient as Division I AA's Most Outstanding Offensive Player, led now to its first ever IAA playoff appearance. Rick Beeler, Lycoming Park defensive back, 2-time first-team All-American who led Lyco to a berth in the 1990 NCAA Division III National Championship, ranks 2nd in DII history with 31 career interceptions and still holds DII record with 48 punt returns in 1989 season, 4-time All-Middle Atlantic Conference selection, earning first-team honors his last 3 seasons. Rennie Ben, Lehigh wide receiver, named First-Team All-American in 1985, currently ranks 2nd in NCAA Division I AA history in touchdown receptions, 44, behind only Jerry Rice, ranks 7th in Division I AA history in career receiving yards, 3,662. Bill Borchert, Mount Union, Ohio, quarterback, 2-time First-Team All-American who led Mount Union to consecutive national titles in 1996–97, .1997 recipient of Gagliardi Trophy and 3-time First-Team All-OAC selection. Still holds multiple NCAA, conference and school records and boasts 14,482 career passing yards. John Both, Augustana, Ill. Center, named First-Team All-American in 1988, one of 3 finalists for the 1988 NCAA Division III Player of the Year Award, 3-time First-Team All-Conference selection, 1986–88, helped Augustana to the 1st of March 45 record. Carl Boyd, Northern Iowa running back, named First-Team All-American in 1987, selected First-Team All-Conference and Offensive Player of the Year in 1987. In 1987, he was Conference Player of the Week 4 times, 2-time team captain, total 2,735 career rushing yards and 1,987 receiving yards. Vincent Brown, Mississippi Valley State linebacker 1987 first-team All-American, leading the NCAA in tackles in 1986 and 1987, set NCAA All-Divisions record with 570 career tackles. Two-time All-SWAC selection who led MVSU in tackles his last 3 seasons. Joe Campbell, Middle Tennessee State running back, two-time first-team All-America selection, 1990-91, a 3-time first-team All-Conference pick. He was named OVC Player of the Year in 1990, led the team in rushing all 4 years. William Campbell, Western Colorado defensive back, two-time first-team All-America selection, 1978-79, set school record for interceptions in a season with 7 in 1979, led the team in tackles his senior year with 84. Vin Carriosha, Franklin. Peter Catan, Eastern Illinois defensive end, two-time first-team All-America selection, 1979-80, member of the 1978 Division II National Championship team, holds school record for quarterback sacks in a game, 6, season, 21, and career, 47. Steve Cockram, Akron linebacker, two-time first-team All-America selection, 1976-77, concluded career as the school's all-time leader in tackles with 715, led Akron to 1976 Division II championship game. Bruce Collie, Texas Arlington offensive tackle named first-team All-American in 1984, led Utah to 1981 Southland Conference title, 3-time All-SLC selection, played 6 seasons in the NFL with San Francisco and Philadelphia. Tom Collins, Indianapolis IND, defensive back named first-team All-American in 1985, all-time college football leader in career interceptions, 37, representing all levels of the NCAA. Ray Condren, Gettysburg Part, running back, two-time first-team All-American, All-ECAC and All-Conference selection, 1983-84, finished second in rushing in Division III in 1984, named ECAC Division III Player of the Year in 1984. Mark Cotney, Cameron Oakler, defensive back named first-team NAIA All-American and All-Conference in 1974, amassed 132 career tackles and 7 interceptions in 2 seasons at Cameron. Case de Bruin, Idaho State punter named first-team All-American in 1981, twice led the nation in punting, 1980-81, and was twice the runner-up, 1978-79, season average of 45.9 in 1981, is third all-time in IAA. Parnell Dickinson, Mississippi Valley State quarterback, 1975 first-team All-American and Pittsburgh Area National Player of the Year, 4-time All-SWAC selection and Conference Player of the Year as a senior. Finished career as SWAC's all-time leader in total offense, 7,442 yards. William Dillon, Virginia Union free safety, 3-time first-team All-America selection, 1980-82, tallied 16 interceptions in 1983, .1983 Black College Player of the Year, 2-time first-team All-Conference selection and Player of the Year, 1981-82. Al Dorenkamp, Central Iowa linebacker named first-team All-American in 1974, 2-time first-team All-Conference selection, 1973-74, captain Central to a perfect 11-0 mark in the Division III National Championship in 1974. John Dorsey, Connecticut linebacker named first-team All-American in 1983, led the team in tackles from 1981-83, two-time Yankee Conference Defensive Player of the Year, 1980-83, Carl Douglas, Texas A. Chuck Downey, Stony Brook safety, 1987 first-team All-America selection, a recorded 239 tackles and 13 interceptions on defense, first player in Division III history to achieve 1,000 yards on both punt and kickoff returns in a career, currently holds 12 NCAA Division III records and 23 school records. Tom Earhart, Rhode Island quarterback, 1985 first-team All-American who led the nation in passing during his final year at Uri, holds nearly every passing record in Rams history and led Uri to consecutive 10-3 seasons and national top 10 finishes in 1984-85. .1985 Yankee Conference Player of the Year. Keith Elias, Princeton running back, two-time first-team All-American 1992-93 and 1993 Ivy League Player of the Year, Princeton's all-time leader in rushing yards 4,208 and rushing touchdowns 49, three-time All-Ivy performer who helped the Tigers to the 1992 conference title. Curtis Eller, Villanova linebacker, two-time first-team All-America selection 1991-92, and was named National Defensive Player of the Year by the Sporting News in 1992. A three-time first-team All-Conference selection, he twice earned Yankee Defensive Player of the Year honors. Blake Elliott, St. John's, Min, wide receiver, two-time first-team All-American and winner of the 2003 Gagliardi Trophy, two-time MIAC Player of the Year who holds NCAA All-Divisions record of 47 consecutive games with a reception, led SJU to 2003 DII national title and owns 29 school records. Richard Ehrenberg, Colgate running back, named first-team All-American in 1983, broke 12 Division I AA records, selected as ECAC Player of the Year in 1983, all-time leading rusher in Colgate history, two-time recipient of the Andy Kerr Award signifying Colgate's MVP 1982-83, Jari Evans, Bloomsburg, part offensive lineman 2005. First-team All-American who also earned second-team All-America honors as a junior, two-time Division II Player of the Year finalist and three-time first-team All-PSAC East selection, helped Huskies to the 2005 PSAC East title and an NCAA playoff berth. John Fitzgerald, Central Oklahoma offensive guard, first-team All-American who blocked for two 1,000-yard rushes in 1998, led UCO to 1998 undefeated season and no. One final ranking, only three-time All-American since UCO joined NCAA, Bernard Ford, Central Florida wide receiver, named first-team All-American and 1987 Harlan Hill Trophy finalist, ranks in top 10 of 14 UCF records, ranking first in receiving yards in a season, 1,403, all-purpose yards per game, 188, and average yards per catch in career, 21.8. Dwayne Fritz, Chadron State Neb punter, named first-team NAIA All-American in 1975, led NAIA to and the conference in punting in 1975, averaged 42.3 yards on 65 punts in 1975. Rick Fry, Occidental, Caliph, N, two-time first-team All-American and All-Conference selection 1976-77, was the NCAA annual champion for receiving in 1976-77 and set 4 NCAA receiving records, member of the Occidental Football Hall of Fame. Bob Gaddis, Mississippi Valley State wide receiver, 1974 first-team All-American and Pittsburgh Area National Receiver of the Year, named 1970 NAIA Freshman of the Year en route to twice leading the NAIA in yards per catch 1971-72, three-time All-SWAC selection, led conference in yards per catch all 4 years. Chris George, Glenville State WVA wide receiver, two-time first-team All-America selection and four-time WVIAC pick, led GSC to Division II national playoffs in 1993 and 94, member of 2 conference championship teams and held 9 national records by career's end. Don Greco, Western Illinois offensive guard, named first-team All-American in 1980, two-time first-team All-Conference selection, winning the conference's Lineman of the Year award in 1980, a 1980 team captain. He was twice named Western Illinois MVP. Don Griffin, Middle Tennessee State safety, 1985 first-team All-American and Ohio Valley Conference Defensive Player of the Year, three-time first-team All-Conference selection, a recorded 210 tackles, 13 career interceptions, and held school record for interceptions in a game. 3. Boomer Grigsby, Illinois State linebacker, three-time first-team All-American, 2002-04 and FCS career leader in total, 550, and solo, 325 tackles, only three-time Missouri Valley Football Conference Defensive Player of the Year in league history, no. 2 all-time in FCS, averaging 12.50 tackles per game in career. Calvin Harrell, Arkansas State running back, two-time first-team All-American who led a state to the 1970 NCAA College Division National title, three-time first-team All-Southland Conference, three-time SLC Shams 1968-70, and two-time Pecan Bowl Shams, holds school record for 100-yard rushing games, 18, Ron Hausauer, Jamestown, ND, offensive guard, two-time first-team NAIA All-American and first-team All-Conference 1980-81, four-year letterman, member of the Jamestown College Athletic Hall of Fame. Pat Hauser, Cal State Northridge offensive tackle, two-time first-team All-American and All-Conference selection, 1980-83, four-year starter and letterman. Conway Hayman, Delaware offensive guard named first-team All-American in 1970, two-time first-team All-Conference selection, 1969-70, led team to 2 conference titles and 3 Lambert Cup Eastern Championships. Bobby Hedrick, Elon running back named first-team All-American in 1980, ranked second in NCAA history in career rushing yards, 5,604, among all divisions, at career's end, behind only Tony Dorsett. Chris Haig, Truman State, Mo, quarterback named first-team All-American and AFCA Division II Player of the Year in 1985, two-time Conference Offensive Player of the Year, 1984-85, still holds 8 conference records. Bob Heller, Wesleyan, Con. Center, two-time first-team All-American in 1972-73, two-time first-team All-ECAC performer who did not allow a sack during career. Key to 1972 offensive unit that set still-standing school record for 1,980 rushing yards in a season. Billy Hest, Westchester, Part, wide receiver, 1988 first-team All-American and Harlan Hill Trophy finalist, .1988 PSAC East Player of the Year and 4-time All-PSAC receiver, who also earned All-Conference honors as a defensive back in 1988, led Westchester to PSAC title game appearances in 1986 and 1987. Lynn Heber, Indiana, Part, quarterback, two-time first-team NAIA All-America selection, 1974-75, won the Division II Total Offense crown in 1975, selected as ECAC Division II Player of the Year, first Team All-East and First Team All-ECAC in 1975. John Hill, Lehigh Center named First Team All-American in 1971, recipient of Football Roundup magazine's College Division Exemplary Player Award, named First Team All-ECAC and New York Times All-East in 1971. Rene Ingiglia, Massachusetts running back, finished career ranked second all-time in FCS history in TDs, 54, and is school's all-time leader in rushing, 4,624, and carries 905, among others, first UMass player to average more than 100 YPG rushing in career. Louis Jackson, Cal Poly SLO running back, two-time first-team All-America selection, 1978-80, member of the 1980 Division II National Championship team, holds school records for yards rushing in a career, 3,444, season, 1,463, and game, 267. Terran Jackson, Missouri Southern State offensive tackle named first-team NAIA All-American in 1972, member of school's Athletic Hall of Fame. John Jerkovich, Eastern Illinois defensive end, two-time first-team All-America selection in 1988 and 1989, two-time Gateway Defensive Player of the Year who led team to 1986 conference title, set Gateway record with 6 sacks in a game and finished career as the conference's all-time sacks leader, 27. Ed Kelly, Hampton, Sydney, VA, defensive end, two-time first-team All-America selection, 1974-75, three-time first-team All-Conference pick, 1973-75, led the defensive unit that gave up only 10.8 points per game in 1975. Bill Collar, Montana State defensive end, 1973 first-team All-America selection, earning second-team All-America accolades in 1972. 1972 Big Sky defensive player of the year and first lineman in conference history to earn first-team honors 3 times. First defensive player to earn Senior Bowl MVP honors, 1974. Gary Kuhlman, Delaware offensive tackle, 2-time first-team All-American and All-ECAC selection, 1980-81. His 1970 1979 team led all Division I AA teams in scoring with 35.5 points and 405.5 yards total offense per game. Sean Landeta, Towson punter 1982 first-team All-American and first punter ever named to the AP's College Division All-America team, three-time first-team All-ECAC who owns Towson career punting records for punts, 225 and yards, 9,452. Also teams place kicker, leading all of Division II in punting average, 43.4 YPP and field goals, 14, during 1980 season. Al Lucas, Troy defensive lineman, two-time first-team All-American 1998-99, and winner of the 1999 Buck Buchanan Award as the nation's top defensive player, two-time first-team All-Southland who led Trojans to 2 conference titles, 3 NCAA playoff appearances, including the 1996 semifinals and the 1999 quarterfinals. Steve McAdoo, Middle Tennessee State offensive lineman, two-time first-team All-America selection 1991-92, earned third-team All-America honors by the Associated Press in 1990, three-time first-team All-Conference pick. Gary McCauley, Clarion, part-tight end, two-time first-team All-America selection 1980-81, member of 2 conference title teams, holds school career records for receptions 135 and receiving yards 1,736, 4-year starter. Fran McDermott, Street. Mary's Califf, defensive back, two-time first-team All-America selection 1979-80, played in the 1981 Japan Bowl, 4-year starter and letterman, holds school records for most interceptions in a career, 21, season 8 and game 4. Bill McGovern, Holy Cross defensive back, named first-team All-American in 1984, led the nation in interceptions, 11, in 1984, set Division I AA career interception record with 24, two-time All-ECAC performer 1983-84, named 1984 team captain. Steve McNair, Alcorn State quarterback 1994 first-team All-American and the all-time passing leader 14,496 in the FCS, finished third in 1994 Heisman Trophy voting and the only 4-time SWAC Offensive Player of the Year in league history. .199 for Walter Payton, award winner who led Braves to 2 SWAC titles and 2 NCAA playoff appearances. Tony Miles, Northwest Missouri State all-purpose wide receiver, two-time first-team All-American who led Bearcats to back-to-back Division II national championships 1998-99 and 4 consecutive MIAA titles, set conference and school records for career receiving yards 3,890, receptions 235 and TDs 37. Carl Morris, Harvard wide receiver 2002 first-team All-American who holds virtually every Harvard receiving record, including career receptions 245 and TD receptions 28, ranks third all-time in Ivy history with 3,508 career receiving yards, holds Ivy record for career 100-yard games 15 and 200-yard games 3. Robert Morris, Georgetown defensive end, two-time first-team All-America selection 1973-74, member of the Georgetown Hall of Fame and the National Slavic Honor Society. Kenneth Moravsky, Carnegie Mellon, part linebacker, named first-team All-American in 1981, named first-team All-Conference in 1981 and second-team in 1980, two-time team defensive captain, total 243 career tackles and 9 interceptions. Timmy Newsome, Winston-Salem State, NC, running back 1978 first-team All-American who finished his career as the all-time leading rusher, 3,843 yards in school and conference annals, three-time All-CIAA selection who twice led the conference in rushing and scoring, led the Rams to consecutive undefeated regular seasons and CIAA titles in 1977 and 1978. Ed O'Brien, Central Florida place kicker, named 1987 first-team All-American All-American, UCF record holder for career field goals made 50, field goals attempted 77, and longest field goal made 55 yards, helped UCF to 1987 Division II semifinals. Randy Page, Central Oklahoma quarterback, named first-team NAIA All-American in 1983 and earned second-team NAIA All-America honors in 1982, led UCO to a NAIA national championship in 1982, broke 14 school records. Chris Parker, Marshall running back 1995 first-team All-America pick, member of 1992 national championship team, leading MU back to national title game in 1993 and 95, national runner-up, recorded 31 games with at least 100 yards rushing en route to finishing career with 5,924 rushing yards and 68 touchdowns. Alonzo Patterson, Wagner running back, two-time first-team All-America selection, 1981-82, finished fourth on the NCAA leading rusher list for all divisions in 1981, leading Division III with 1,487 yards, three-time ECAC Player of the Year, 1980-82, Ted Peterson, Eastern Illinois center, 1976 first-team All-America selection. Team captain who blocked for Nate Anderson, EIU's first ever 1,000-yard rusher, became school's highest ever NFL draft pick when he was selected 93rd overall, 4th round in 1977. Martin Peterson, Pennsylvania offensive tackle, named first-team All-America, first-team All-Conference and first-team All-ECAC in 1986. His teams won 3 conference titles. Charlie Pierce, Central Florida punter, place kicker, named first-team All-America, career record holder at UCF for punts, 173, punt yardage, 7,111, and points scored, 297, helped UCF to FCS playoffs in 1993. Dave Permante Whitworth, Wash, defensive lineman, named first-team NAIA All-American in 1981, two-time All-District selection, set school records with 20 sacks in a season and 35 in a career, led team with 117 tackles as a senior. Tyrone Poole, Fort Valley State guard, defensive back, first-team All-America selection in 1994, two-time Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference SIAC Defensive Player of the Year 1993-94, who led FVSU to 2 conference titles, recorded 44 pass breakups and 17 interceptions, returning 4 for TDs. Gary Buetz, Valparaiso offensive tackle, two-time first-team All-America selection, 1971-72, three-time first-team All-Conference selection, made first-team All-Conference as a place kicker as well in 1972, earned team's MVP award. Jerry Quinlevin, Buffalo linebacker, named first-team All-American in 1984, two-time first-team ECAC Upstate New York selection and team captain 1983-84, four-year starter and letterman, two-time most outstanding linebacker 1983-84, and named an NFF National Scholar Athlete as a senior. Michael Renat, Delaware defensive end, two-time first-team All-American, All-Conference and All-ECAC selection, 1988-89, Delaware's outstanding senior male athlete in 1990, finished career as the 10th leading tackler in school history with 205. David Rhodes, Central Florida wide receiver, 1993 first Team All-American, holds UCF records for receptions, 213, receiving yards, 3,618, and receiving TD, 29, in career, only Knight to record 3 seasons with at least 1,000 yards receiving and helped team to 1993 FCS playoffs. Kurt Roach, Western Carolina place kicker, three-time first-team All-America selection, 1984-86, four-time first-team All-Conference pick, holds 5 Division I AA kicking records, 10 conference records and 18 school records, missed only 1 extra point in 4 years. Harold Roberts, Austin PEAY State wide receiver 1970, first-team All-American who boasts nearly every receiving record in APSU history, including career receptions 232 and reception yards 2,999. APSU's first four-time first-team All-OVC selection, set NCAA record with 20 receptions in one game in 1969. Tony Romo, Eastern Illinois quarterback 2002 first-team All-American, and Walter Payton, FCS Player of the Year, three-time OVC Offensive Player of the Year who led EIU to OVC titles in 2001 and 2002, set numerous school and conference records by career's end, including passing yards 8,212 and TDs 85. Bobby Size, Adams State Colo, quarterback named first-team NAIA All-American in 1989, passed for 10,169 career yards and 87 touchdowns, averaged 251 yards per game in total offense, led team to no. 1 national ranking in 1989, Terry Schmidt, Ball State defensive back named first-team All-American in 1973 when he set a single-season school record with 13 interceptions. Team MVP as a senior, played in the Coaches All-America game and the East-West Shrine game. Steve Schubert, Massachusetts wide receiver named first-team All-American in 1972, averaged 81.9 yards receiving per game in 1972, which ranks fourth on the school record list, holds school record for average yards per catch in a season with 20.1 in 1972. Joe Skladany, Lafayette linebacker named first-team All-American in 1981, four-year starter who never missed a game, boasts school records for career tackles 532 and blocked kicks in a season. 3. Team captain and two-time team MVP who led nation's second-ranked defense in 1981, Ed Smith, Bethel, Kanj, wide receiver named first-team NAIA All-American in 1985, three-time first-team All-Conference selection 1984-86, holds 13 school records. His 47 career touchdown receptions were too short of the national record. Paul Smith, Gettysburg, punt return specialist, two-time first-team All-American as a kick and punt returner, set 3 NCAA records, including still-standing record of 527 all-purpose yards in a game, 1999.1999 Centennial Conference Co-Player of the Year and four-time All-CC first-team selection. Tom Stengelin, Colgate wide receiver, two-time first-team All-America selection, 1984-85, two-time first-team All-ECAC pick, 1984-85, Colgate's all-time leader in receptions in a game, 12, season, 67, and career, 144, Dennis Thomas, Alcorn State center, two-time Pittsburgh area first-team All-American, 1972-1973, first and only offensive lineman in SWAC history to earn SWAC Offensive MVP honors, 1973, member of 1970 SWAC championship team as a freshman and led teams to the 1st of August 27 overall record. Freddie Thomas, Troy defensive back, two-time first-team All-America selection, 1986-87, and helped lead Troy to the NCAA Division II National Championship in 1987. A two-time first-team All-Conference pick, he was named team captain in 1987. Marcus Thomas, Eastern Kentucky tailback, finished career ranked third all-time in FCS history in rushing, 5,149. Two-time Ohio Valley Conference Offensive Player of the Year who led team to 2 conference titles, .52 career rushing TDs. Brad Toker, Westminster, punt running back named first-team Little All-American in 1990, two-time first-team NAIA All-America selection, 1988-1990, led Westminster to 2 NAIA Division II national championships, Westminster's all-time leading rusher with 5,269 career yards. Jay Wessler, Illinois College running back named first-team NAIA All-American in 1979, three-time member of the NAIA District All-Star Team, three-time Team MVP 1978-80, and Illinois Athlete of the Year 1979-81, Tim Whelan, Tufts, Mass. Running back 1976, first-team All-American who set school single-season rushing records in consecutive seasons, .1976 ECAC Division III Player of the Year and George H. Bulger Low Award as New England's best player for all divisions, .234 rushing attempts in 1976 is school record. Gary Wichert, Lucy W. Post, NY quarterback named first-team All-American, ECAC Player of the Year and team captain in 1971, played in the 1972 Senior Bowl, set school records in career passing yards 5,373, touchdown passes 41, and total offense 5,642. Mike Wiggins, Iowa Wesleyan punter named first-team Little All-American in 1987 and a NAIA All-American in 1986 and 1987, named national punting champion for the NAIA in 1987. Jerry Woods, Northern Michigan defensive back, two-time first-team All-America selection and All-Conference pick 1987-88. Returned 89 punts for 1,129 yards, a 12.6-yard average. Returned kickoffs for 1,475 yards, a 24.9-yard average and current school record. John Zanieski, Yale middle guard named first-team All-American and first-team All-Ivy League in 1984, selected as the team's MVP in 1984, finished second on school's quarterback sack list with 21.2020. Divisional coach candidate capsule bio Dick Biddle Colgate 1996-13, all-time winningest coach in Colgate and Patriot League history. .2003 AFCA National Coach of the Year who led Raiders to an appearance in the 2003 FCS National Championship game, won 7 conference titles and led teams to 6 NCAA playoff appearances. Paul Durham Linfield, or 1948-67, his team won 7 conference championships. Named 1962 NAIA Coach of the Year, was the athletics director at Linfield while coaching, member of the Oregon Sports, Helms Athletic and NAIA Football Coaches Halls of Fame. Jim Feix, Western Kentucky 1968-83, named Kodak College Coach of the Year for Division II in 1973 and 1975, won or shared 6 conference titles, 3-time Conference Coach of the Year 1973, 1978, 1980, the winningest coach in school history, charter member of the School Athletic Hall of Fame. Howard Fletcher, Northern Illinois, 1956-68, coached unbeaten NCAA College Division and NAIA National Championship team in 1963, led NIU to 3 conference titles, 1963-65, inducted into the NIU Athletic Hall of Fame, was the runner-up as Kodak College Division Coach of the Year in 1963, made 3 appearances in the Mineral Water Bowl. Ross Fortier, Minnesota Moorhead, 1970-92, school's all-time winningest coach, led his team to 7 postseason playoffs and 9 conference championships, led 1981 team to unbeaten regular season and number 1 ranking in the final regular season poll, member of the NAIA Hall of Fame. Morley Fraser, Albion, Mitch, 1954-68, led Albion to 5 conference championship and was named the Small College Coach of the Year in 1964, coached 1 All-American, 5 Conference Players of the Year and 65 first-team All-Conference selections, was a commander in the U.S. Navy during World War II, received the Distinguished American Award from the Michigan chapter of the NFF. Danny Hale, Westchester, Part 1984-88, Bloomsburg, Part 1993-12, led Bloomsburg to berth in National Championship Game 2000, earning AFCA Division II Coach of the Year honors, led teams to 9 playoff appearances and at least a share of 14 PSAC East titles, boasts most wins, 173, in Bloomsburg history. Rudy Hubbard, Florida A. Eddie Hurt, Virginia Lynchburg 1925–28, Morgan State 1930–59, led Morgan State to 6 Black College National Championship and 14 CIAA titles, posted 11 undefeated seasons, including the 1943 team that did not allow a score from a single opponent. From 1932–39, led Bears to 54-game streak without a loss. Art Keller, Carthage, Wisp 1952–82, named FWAA College Division Distinguished Coach in 1982 and 4-time NIA District Coach of the Year, member of the NIA District 14 Hall of Fame, won 8 conference titles and compiled 3 14-game winning stakes, member of the Carthage Hall of Fame and received the President's Medal of Honor. Glenn Killinger Dickinson, Part 1922, Rensselaer, NY, 1927–32, Moravian, Part 1933, Westchester, Part 1934–41, 45–59, winningest coach in Westchester history, member of the College Football Hall of Fame as a player and the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame, had only one losing season in 37 years as a head coach. Larry Corver, Northwestern College, Iowa, 1967–94, led Northwestern to 2 national championships, 14 playoff appearances and 212 victories in 28 seasons on the sidelines. Twice named NIA National Coach of the Year, he has coached 32 players to All-America status. Roy Kramer, Central Michigan, 1967–77, led CMU to the 1974 Division II National Championship, the lone national title in program history. .197 for Division II Coach of the Year, who guided teams to 2 conference titles, coached 38 first-team All-Conference selections in career. Maxie Lambride, Louisiana Tech, 1967–78, led Tech to 3 consecutive Division II national titles from 1972–74, boasted 7 conference titles and named 1970s Southland Conference Coach of the Decade, led program to Division I in 1975, earning 2 Independence Bowl berths, and coached 11 first-team All-Americans throughout career. Dick Lowry, Wayne State, Mich, 1974–79, Hillsdale, Mich, 1980–96, won 7 conference championships at both schools and earned 5 berths in the NIA National Playoffs, winning the national championship in 1985. He was voted NIA Coach of the Year in 1982 and was Conference Coach of the Year 6 times. John Lockhart, Washington. James Malosky, Minnesota Duluth, 1958–97, winningest coach in Division II history at time of retirement, led teams to 9 conference championships, named NSIC, MIAC and/or NIA Coach of the Year 13 times, produced 33 winning seasons in 40 years at UMD. Don Miller, Trinity, Con, 1967–98, a recorded 28 winning seasons out of 32, retired as the all-time winningest Division III football coach in New England history, now second, 4-time NESCAC Coach of the Year and 1993 New England Division II, III Coach of the Year. Team recorded best record in NESCAC 7 times. Steve Moore, Trinity, Texas, 1990–2013, led Trinity to a 2002 Stag Bowl appearance and 12 playoff berths, all-time winningest coach in school history and 5-time AFCA Regional Coach of the Year, boasts 16 conference titles and holds SCAC record for overall wins, 186, and SCAC victories, 96. Charles Murphy, Middle Tennessee State, 1947–68, captured 7 Volunteer State Athletic Conference championships, won 7 Ohio Valley Conference championships, named Ohio Valley Conference Coach of the Year in 1965. Jim Ostendorf, Amherst, Mass, 1959–91, named UPI Small College Coach of the Year in 1964, selected as the New York Football Writers Division II/III Coach of the Year in 1984, captured 13 Little III titles, named AFCA Kodak New England Coach of the Year in 1961 and 1964, Forrest Perkins Wisconsin Whitewater 1956-84. At the time of his retirement, he ranked second on the active wins list on the Division III level, named NAIA Coach of the Year in 1966, the all-time winningest coach in conference and school history, captured 11 conference titles. Bill Ramsayer Wilmington, Ohio 1972-90, Virginia's College at Wise 1991-2001, three-time District Coach of the Year, 7 Hall of Fame inductions, including NAIA Hall of Fame 1997, coached his teams to a winning season in 24 of 30 seasons, coached Wilmington to a NAIA National runner-up in 1980, coached 70 All-Americans. Dwight Reed Lincoln, Mo. 1949-71, teams, won 3 conference titles, coached 93 All-Americans in 4 sports. The football stadium at Lincoln University was named for him. Pete Schmidt Albion, Mitch. 1983-96, teams won 9 MIAA championships, 7 outright, 5 NCAA Division III playoff appearances and the 1994 NCAA Division III National Championship, 1994 AFCA National Coach of the Year. Dick Sheridan Furman, 1978-85, North Carolina State, 1986-92, -1985 Furman team finished season as national runner-up. .1985 AFCA Coach of the Year led Furman to 6 SoCon titles and 3 playoff appearances, led NC State to 6 bowl appearances in 7 seasons and finished with national rankings in 1991 and 1992. Gideon Smith Hampton, 1921-40, led Pirates to 1922 Black College National Championship. Recorded 4 CIAA titles and 2 unbeaten seasons in career, longest tenured coach in Hampton history, boasting the second most wins all-time at the school. Clyde Buck, Starbeck, Northern Iowa, 1936-42, 1945-57, captured 7 conference championships in 10 years, went 31 consecutive conference games without a defeat, member of the University of Northern Iowa Hall of Fame. Clarence Stasovich Lenoir Rhine, NC, 1946-61, East Carolina, 1962-69, Lenoir Rhine's all-time winningest coach who led team to 1969 National Championship. .1959 National Coach of the Year, boasting 3 undefeated seasons at LR, led AQ to most successful 3-year campaign in school history, 27-3 from 1963-65, Andy Talley Street. Lawrence, NY, 1979-83, Villanova, 1985-2016, led Wildcats to 2009 FCS National Championship and 12 playoff appearances, all-time winningest coach in Colonial Athletic Association and Villanova history, twice earned AFCA National Coach of the Year honors and led teams 8 conference titles. John Whitehead Lehigh, 1976-86, named Division II Coach of the Year in 1977 and Division I AA Coach of the Year in 1979, captured the 1977 Division II National Championship, runner-up in the 1979 Division I AA National Championship. Alex Unovich Alfred, NY, 1937-41, 1946-76, had 6 undefeated teams. His team was 1971 Lambert Bowl Division III Champions of the East, named Small College Coach of the Year in 1956 by the Washington Touchdown Club and same in 1971 by the NY Football Writers. Alan Zickman, Nebraska Kearney, 1955-71. His teams won 11 conference titles, 9 of his players were named NAIA All-Americas and 67 made All-Conference, member of the NAIA Hall of Fame. Let's block ads. Why?